Hello, my name is Andrea and I have generalized anxiety disorder. I have a trip coming up, not a trip, but I'm going to a large event, and I've been preparing for how I will deal with that large event should any anxiety problems arise. And I thought this would be a good video to share with other people. It might help someone else who wants to go to a large event and wants to figure out ways to tackle it. Before I proceed, I want to say that I'm not a medical doctor. You can't take any of this as medical advice. I'm just sharing information of strategies that help me. I have generalized anxiety disorder, and that's different from social anxiety disorder, but there's some similarities. So some of what I say might help you. You can take your pick. For my I have usual strategies that I employ just for things like going to the grocery store. Going to the grocery store is something that I commonly have issues with. So I have my basic strategies. I'll start with those, and then I'll move on to the added ones that I have for large events. So my usual coping mechanisms and strategies are, like when I'm starting to feel anxiety, I will take slow, deep breaths, like let it all in and let it out, because I've noticed that when I'm getting anxious, just like when I'm in pain, that I tend to hold my breath. So taking deep breaths and letting them out slowly helps calm me down. I also will find a place to stand, sit, or look that minimalizes auditory and visual stimulus. And the reason for that is that I've found, for me, the more I see motion going past my face and loud noises, especially noises that are random, that's easier to trigger my anxiety. Concentrating on why I am there, my goals for the outing. Am I there? I'm there to get groceries. What's the minimal amount of things that I need to pick up? What's the minimum I need to do if I can't do the entire amount? This kind of thing. Distracting myself with mind games. Now, for me, these usually include numbers or counting. It's part of my OCD, because I have OCD also. But sometimes I'll incorporate it with the breathing, I'll breathe into 1, 2, breathe out to 1, 2. It's something I did when I was running. I used to run in high school. So I go, as I'm breathing in 1, 2 in my mind, breathing out 1, 2. Sometimes I'll just I don't know if I'm hypnotizing myself or just something that helps me distract myself from the stimuli going on around me. I'll think of words to a relaxing song or poem. I'll think them out in my head. Just any song or poem that you happen to like, or that I happen to like, and I'll just think through the words. I'll stay in one place, or whatever I can do to calm myself down. Sometimes I have to close my eyes. Now, if I do this, I'll go to the bathroom, or I'll sit in a corner, sit on one of those seats or whatever that they have at the grocery store. This is the example. And I'll imagine myself, for me, the place I find relaxing is in the woods near a river or a brook or whatever, and just relaxing, concentrating on that. Now, for large events, when I'm talking about large events, I'm talking about maybe concerts, conventions, some celebration in a big city, which is what I'm going to be going to. I come up with more contingency plans. And I also discuss these plans with whomever I'm going with, so that they know what my plans are, what I can do and what I can't do, what might happen. You know, like I might have to leave early. Just like if I'm going to the grocery store, I might have to leave early, okay? But these strategies that I have try to make it go as long as I possibly can. Of course, some people are not going to be willing to deal with that, but hopefully you can find someone who is understanding. I find out what I can about the location where I'm going and the event and the venue and the whole area, okay? So that I can plan stuff like places at the event where I can take breaks, lounges, large bathrooms, etc. If it's an indoor event, I try to find out ahead of time what's the policy for if I leave and I come back. You know, can I go somewhere nearby and re-enter? Does the event have sections that include less popular activities or areas with less noise? Now, my example for this is that I went to a gaming convention last year, and I'm going to try and go again this year, I think. I might have missed it already. I'm not sure. But there were several different sections in the convention, and some places had more activity, more noise, more people, and more movement. And other areas had less of those things. So I went and I looked at all these different places so I could figure out, okay, if I'm too much here, if it's getting too much here, I can go to this other place, try some of the activities there, or just relax. They had like a section where you could sit in beanbag chairs and just play on your video games. They had a board game section. They had an area that had loud music playing. They had areas where there were different panel discussions you could go to. So there was a lot of options, and I could, throughout the day, according to what I could tolerate, I could switch between different things. Is there an area near the location that I could go to calm down? Okay, so this goes with the policy of if I leave and can come back. So could I sit in my car and relax, like put my seat back, have the air conditioning on, just maybe close my eyes for 20 minutes? Is there a coffee shop or a library or a quiet park nearby? I could sit there for a while. So finally, as a last resort, I usually bring my Xanax with me. It's a medicine I only use in the last resort, and that's when I'm at the point that I have not been able to get my heart rate to calm down, and my adrenaline is pumping so hard that I can tell it's stressing everything in my body, and it's been going for at least 15 minutes, and it seems like it's not going to go away. At that point, I will take that. Now, that's something important to discuss with whoever I'm going to the event with, because I won't be able to transport myself. Like, if I have to take that, then someone else needs to drive, or we need to take public transportation, or whatever. Now, after I have all that stuff figured out in my mind, I know it sounds like a lot, and a lot of people would say, well, that might build up the stress more. For me, this has helped me actually be able to go to things that I didn't think I could go to. After all that, I do these mental preparation thought processes where it's two questions mainly. One is, what's the worst that would happen at this event? What's the worst thing that could happen? Like, the worst thing that could happen, is it that I would have to leave early? Is it that I would run out of the place yelling? Probably not. That hasn't happened to me in a long time. Also, what's the worst thing is, would I only have been able to enjoy very small amount of the activities? Would I get, like, what's the least amount of, the worst case scenario, what's the least amount of the event that I would be able to enjoy? And the second question is, what are my goals? Like, why am I going to this event? Why do I want to go to this event? Are there goals that I'm trying to accomplish? Is it that I've never gone to an event like this and I've always wanted to? I want to see what it's like. I want to experience it. Is it something that's on my bucket list? Do I think I'll find other like-minded people? These kinds of things. Now this question, when they come up with those answers, I try to keep those in mind and I reiterate them to myself on the day that I'm going to the event. So, like that actually works for me. And like I said, so I'm going to an event this Sunday. It's very large and it's going to be in Philadelphia. There's a parade, there's going to be activities, like there's an event section where you pay to get in, and there's going to be concerts and stuff like this. So I've looked at the location, I've looked at, well, I'm already familiar with Philadelphia because I live near Philadelphia, but I've looked at the location, we've looked at the different events. I'm going to go back online and look at some more of these things. I've discussed it with the person that I'm going with. They are fine with, it's someone that I've gone to other activities with and knows my thought process and how I, where can I push myself, where can't I, knows that I can be honest about those things. So I'm looking forward to going. I hope some of these strategies will help you. And if you have any ideas or thoughts or comments, I welcome you to put them in the comment section below. I hope everything's going well with you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.